Hello everybody and welcome back to Pathfinder, a Kingmaker. I realized that although the last episode, episode 13, has been released, I didn't actually record the end of the story, so episode 13, for all its length and trials, is not the last episode. This is. So, the celebration and the small talk with our fellow barons after defeating the Stag Lord, we are congratulated and we are given our title of the Baron, be able to talk to the other couple of barons, the new barons that have received lands in exchange for. We are not the only ones that have been asked to do things for Jamandi. So yeah.
Good work. Nice to see I haven't lost my intuition for people. Not many would have managed to set out to the stolen lands and return with the Stag Lord's head, but I knew you could handle it. Congratulations are in order. Today, you'll receive the title of Baron before the High Society of Restov, and even Natala Sertova personally. God's bless her. Tomorrow, you'll be able to return to the stolen lands if you wish, but this time as a ruler. But matters of state can wait. For now, enjoy this feast in your honor. All the city leaders are here. It's a great opportunity to make some useful connections. Speaking of connections, let me introduce you to Kasil Eldori. He's my adopted son and apprentice. He's a trustworthy man. I'd like to send him with you as an envoy.
Kasil, a young half-orc with impeccable pose, performs a textbook perfect bow. So, we could go straight up with saying that I don't need an envoy, because now, I'm on my own. We can ask her about my encounter with Tartusio, the gnome, not gnome, was he a gnome? I think he was a gnome, mage, wizard thingy, really annoying, arrogant guy who got resurrected in the end by some deity, so, we're going to have to face him again at some point. We can ask her what game is she playing, since, she is sending an envoy with us, while, it's obviously a political move, so I think I'm going to first ask about Tartusio, because I'm really curious if she got the intel. Do you already know about my encounter with Tartusio?
Of course. Keston gave me a full report. You dealt with the scoundrel perfectly. It would be naive to think that none of your neighbors will try to stick their hands in your affairs. Especially that sly fox Iravetti.
It's interesting that she acknowledges his cunning and wit and kind of, has a bit of admiration for Iravetti, although in the first episode she was really, adamant in defeating him, so, But yeah, what game is she playing, though? Jamandi, just what kind of game are you playing? I think I have the right to know.
Yes, you certainly have that right. But tell me, how well do you know Brevoy's history or the current political atmosphere? It won't be an easy explanation.
What do I need to know?
What's now called Brevoy was originally two different countries, Rostland and Issia. 200 years ago, they were stuck in constant squabbles. Then, Coral the Conqueror showed up and united the two states into one. Such diplomatic tricks are easy to manage when you have dragons at your disposal. The so-called noble houses of Brevoy, mainly Sertova, Orlovsky, and Lebeda, once ruled over Issia. We, the Eldori, ruled Rostland. The royal house Rogarvia, founded by Coral the Conqueror, forced us into obedience. But 200 years isn't long enough to make peace with such a troubled history. Even 2,000 years wouldn't be enough for us to accept Issian rule. Brevoy is a country held together by a thread, and that thread grows ever weaker.
What do I need to know about the current political atmosphere then?
We, the Aldori and the great noble houses, spent 200 years under the rule of invaders, the Royal House Rogarvia. We plotted, we schemed, we stabbed each other in the back, but open confrontation was out of the question. But a few years ago, House Rogarvia disappeared. No one knows how or why, but one day, their manors were just empty. And the force that held Brevoy together, that kept us from a bloody feud, ceased to be. Brevoy is currently ruled by the House Surtova, the former kings of Issia, but their power pales in comparison to that of House Rogarvia when they were here. So now Surtova and Aldori stand facing each other, staring each other in the eye, waiting for the other to draw their sword. It's an untenable situation. No one wants a civil war that would drown Brevoy in blood, but peace between us is also out of the question.
What role do I play in your plans then? Because, you know, it's obvious that you're at odds with Surtova, and you would love to stop a civil war, but also take over the country.
Rostland wants to regain its independence, and we will regain it. The power the Issians hold over us is humiliating and costly, and the Surtovas won't give us our freedom without a fight. That is, unless there is some external power that can force everyone to sit down and talk. Do you see where this is going? The stolen lands are disputed territory. Brevoy can't appropriate them without raising protests from each of the neighboring states. However, if some brave people were to found independent states on that land, it would be another matter entirely. My hope is that you and your future neighbors, Baron Hannes Drelev and Captain Mager Varn, will become our allies. But even your neutrality would introduce a powerful counterbalance to the aggression of the noble houses. Maybe, with your help, the inevitable division of Brevoy can occur without too much pain.
Don't the Sword Lords have any other foreign allies capable of playing this role?
We hope to get some help from the Maivani Aldori, the descendants of the Sword Lords who have fled from Coral's rage to build a new nation in the south. But the Issians know this well, and are doing everything they can to deny us this help. I won't go into details, but if my intelligence is correct, if a civil war starts in Brevoy, Maivan will be too occupied with its own inner troubles to interfere.
Alright, so since she does have another ally, but she's in a bit of a tight spot, guess we don't have any other choice but to try and, you know, be the middle ground between them and the Issian noble houses. So what part does Restov play in this game?
Restov is a free city, proud of its independence from everyone, including the Aldori Sword Lords. But when it comes to Rostland's liberation, our goals align. This whole plan is our joint creation with Lord Mayor Josef Selimius.
Oh, I see. Interesting. If Natala is already here, why did she let you grant me the title?
Actually, she could still intervene and disrupt the proceedings. But she's a Surtova. Their games are always complex and multi-layered. They're always looking for ways to turn defeat into victory. If she's decided to allow you to become a baron, it means she already has some idea of how she can turn it to her benefit. Let's consider how she could do so. The more likely scenario is that Natala wants to win you over to her side. If war breaks out and at least one of you stabs us in the back, Rostland will be surrounded by enemies. That might be enough to bring about our downfall. But you would fall first, and your newly formed states would be left in ruin. The Isians always like to have someone around to pull their chestnuts out of the fire for them. A piece of friendly advice? Don't do business with House Sertovas, no matter what promises they make you. Any deal with the noble houses is a deal with devils.
And what happens next?
How should I know? We're in the middle of a big game. And today, you move from being merely a piece on the board to being one of the players.
Thank you for the explanation.
I hope you have a better understanding of what's at stake.
Yes, I do actually, and thank you. I'm going to speak with the other barons.
Enjoy your evening. When you're ready for the official part, come to me.
Jamandir Dori said that we have no more than 3 months. Yes, we did that. Right. Alright. So, we have some guards. We have Lander, which I don't know him. There's some guests and Arin there. Keston Gaddis. Magar Varn, that's one of the barons. And I think the rest are on the other side. There's also Casey here, the tiefling, skeptical little spy from the our last encounter with Jamandi. But who is he, though? A handsome, well-dressed young man of about 17 years old looks at you with a polite smile. So, you're the famous slayer of the Staglord's gang, soon to be a baron. Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Lander. Just Lander? No last name? No title? Well, let's just say I'm here incognito. Under my circumstances, it's wise to keep one's lineage to oneself. Truth be told, that's precisely what I wanted to speak with you about. You see, I am an heir to one of the Brevois noble houses. I won't say which, but believe me, a newly appointed baron with no connections would do well to have a friend like me. I travel the country in secret, without servants, so I can see it for myself. Not from a carriage window, but face to face with the people. My family would never approve, of course, but then I never asked. I need to know Brevois if I'm going to rule a part of it someday. I know Jamandi wants to impose her stepson on you as an emissary of Brevois. Refuse. Take me instead. Don't look at my age. While they may have trained this half-orc to swing a sword, I have been training to rule since I was a child. I'll be of far greater use to you, both now and in the future, after I have a firm position in my family. Okay, so are you from Ristovic nobility? Oh no, I'm not from here. I'm just visiting, you could say. I wanted to see for myself the heroes who managed to conquer the frontier lands, and the Lord Mayor was kind enough to invite me to this wonderful party. Please tell me again what you're doing here. I travel the country in secret. Oh, he just repeats that, okay. Yeah, I'll consider your proposal. Yes, do so. Carefully. Already. Okay. Interesting. Let's talk to the Baron Magar Varn. This man is obviously more comfortable on the battlefield than in the company of nobles. He's well built, but the expensive waistcoat he's wearing doesn't quite fit properly, as though it was borrowed. He has a few pale scars across his face, and his dark hair is drawn into an unkempt ponytail with a few streaks of grey running through it. He greets you with a broad smile and a firm handshake. Let me introduce myself. No, wait. Let me introduce myself. I'm Magar Varn, the new ruler of Dunswood, your neighbor to the east. Like you, I'm about to be a baron. Great job with the Staglord, by the way. Not everyone could exterminate a whole gang of bandits with such a small team. How did you earn the title of baron?
Truth be told, my team and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Jordyn Aldori needed someone reliable to take and hold the territory. I'm the captain of a mercenary team, if that wasn't clear. Varling Host. Have you heard of us? No? Oh, no matter. We've done work for Jamandi before. This time the task was simple. We just waltzed into the area, cleared it of most of brazen monsters, and built a small fort to hold the place. And for that, no barony and a lantern. It was a dream job.
How do you feel being a noble? Looking at his rich clothes, Varn smirks.
Like a pheasant on a plate. I've killed all kinds of monsters, but this is the first time I've so strongly felt like turning away could get me eaten.
He nods toward an arrogant man in the other corner of the room.
See that lad? Baron Trelev. He's not like us. Who knows what generation of Baron he is? Didn't even shake my hand. You and me, we're like dirt beneath his boots. That's why those like us, the newly made nobility, need to stick together. Otherwise, he'd take my land and yours in a blink of an eye.
It was nice meeting you. Farewell, for now.
Goodbye. Once you've settled in, come pay us a visit.
I'll make sure when I have the time to waltz your way.
All according to plan.
Oh, hello.
Will you drink with me?
You see Casey approaching the tiefling you met during the battle at Jamandi Aldori's mansion. As she draws near, she places one of the cups of wine she's holding into your hand. Of course, to beauty.
To beauty. It sweetens our happy days and brings solace to our dark and sorrowful ones.
Casey smiles and taps her cup to yours.
But jokes aside, I came to apologize. I know the words I said in our conversation with Lady Aldery might have offended you, but this was not my intention. The lessons life has dealt me were not easy. I've learned to be wary of new acquaintances, which is why I've refused to join your party. I hope you will forgive me for this weakness and for my harsh words. And I hope you will hear me out, for I have something to tell you.
No need to apologize. I don't expect everyone I meet to immediately fall under my charms and entrust me with all their secrets. I'd rather not have them do that if I can help it. God knows I need a rest.
How amusing. Usually those who don't seek affection are the very ones who receive it. Anyway, enough sweet talk. There is something important I wanted to tell you. As it happens, I came across some very valuable information. What brave conqueror of these wild lands wouldn't be intrigued by news of an ancient shrine, possibly full of great treasures? A place such as this was discovered by my old friends from Kadira, and it just so happens to be located in the lands that today become rightfully yours. My friends lack the courage to enter the shrine and seek the treasure, but what will stop us? We who know the taste of battle and have been singed by the same fire.
Casey stops, looking at you expectantly. What could be better than a treasure hunt? I'm ready. It sounds tempting, but I'll need to think about it.
Your caution is reasonable. Well, I'm going to visit the capital of your newborn barony anyway. I might rent a house. Find me there if you decide you're interested in my offer. So long, friend. I'll call you so today because soon enough, all you'll be hearing is, Your Grace, Your Grace, Your Grace.
Saluting you with the cup, the tiefling girl steps back and disappears into the shadows between the columns. She's a very interesting character, like, out of the bunch that we've met, and I do mean Octavia and Regongar are pretty much the most interesting characters so far because they have layers, and by that I mean you've got Tristan, who is a monk, a person who is religious and good and all these things, right? So he is a loyal servant of the gods, kind man, just, he's a good guy. He's a neutral good one, because he doesn't care about this thing or the other. He just thinks about Serenray and being the most faithful servant of the god or goddess he's worshipping, right? You've got our chaotic neutral, lovable tiefling thief, Alira, which is a mercenary. You've got Valerie, who is a valiant defender, a person who is counting on loyalty, and she is lawful good. She thinks that, respecting the laws and helping people out and being basically the best person you can ever find. Then you've got chaotic neutral Amiri, the barbarian. She cares only about glory and fighting, being the best warrior ever. And she's pretty basic in that. I mean, yes, she is it is very uncommon for barbarians to have a woman barbarian who is such a good fighter and who literally is just the best. She is very traditional. She cares about the traditions of the barbarians. She's unstoppable. She loves fighting. So, she's all these basic traits of barbarians, right? And she's a very cool character. Very cool character. I love her. But she doesn't have all that many layers, or at least not so far in her story. Then you've got Lindsay, the chaotic good character. She is a small ball of annoying singing and writing and naivete sometimes. And she's amazing. She has some layers, and she's a pretty fun character. She's really a fun character. I love her to bits. She's like this small little cute thing that just is very hopeful and always jittery and doing things and thinking about stuff and writing things, and she's a creative, amazing character. You've got your pessimist Arim, who is a servant of the dark god. He's depressive, pretty much, and he's always that bit of necessary sarcasm and just pessimism in the party of just hopeful individuals. Then you've got people who went through shit. Octavia and Regongar, who have been enslaved from a very young age. You've got the half-orc with a dragon in his lineage. Yeah. And, he seems to be very layered. He's been through a lot. He's been a slave for most of his life. A very troublesome slave that always tried escaping. And, casting magic and being very dynamic with his fighting style. And, he's a bit arrogant, but, cocky. I'm gonna do this. I'm the man. He's basically, I'm the man. And he was a breath of fresh air from the start when he got into the party. So he's a great character, and he has so many layers, and there's so much potential there. I really wonder how far this character story is thought out, how many quests you have with this character specifically for him, because I love him, and I think Jordyn likes him quite a bit, if you know what I'm saying. And he does also like her quite a bit, if you know what I'm saying. But she's also extremely layered. She's an optimist. She sees all this, she tries to be the best and help everyone and save the world from slavery and bad things. And she always tries to be as good to people as she can, while also keeping true to her roots as a slave and not being very trustful with everyone and being capable of scheming and bending the rules in her favor if that means it will help the greater good. Ragongar, on the other hand, he's a bit on the evil side. He's a bit on, messing with things, being a completely, chaotic, evil person. He doesn't care about the rules, doesn't care about anything about himself, and he'll probably snap his fingers and lightning bolt anyone that stays in his path if you're not too careful. So yeah. But Casey, I love Casey. She's the third in this. She's in the top 3. I don't know how to class Octavia, Ragongar, and Casey, but she's definitely in these 3 characters I love extremely much in this game. Oh, Natala Surtova. I think we should talk to her as well. Natala Surtova is discussing something with an unfamiliar old lady in a low voice. Upon noticing you, she breaks into a sugary sweet smile. You are not the only tough but quick. Well, congratulations on your victory. Enjoy it while you can. Is that a threat? I would never. I simply wish to warn you in case you don't fully realize the fate that awaits you and your barony. Okay, and what do you think? What do you think awaits me? Nothing good, I fear. The Aldori, our dearest friends, didn't seem to necessary to inform you of their plans, I assume. You see, they're preparing to separate from Brevoy. It will not be a peaceful process. They lack the strength currently, hence using this legal loophole to create some independent allies. Once the civil war breaks out, your lands will be the first to endure a strike from Brevoy's forces. Perhaps they'll erect a memorial stone in independent Restov to honor you. Well, I wouldn't count on you, even that, really. And what would you propose? In your situation, the most reasonable course of action would be to align yourself with the lawful rulers of Brevoy, the noble houses. The Aldori won't dare to rebel, knowing that they will immediately become entrapped. You could help Brevoy avoid civil war while simultaneously enjoying some well-deserved peace in your lands. I believe Jamandi has already attempted to impose a guard on you as an emissary. I'm guessing her low-born stepson, the green-skinned boy, Cassil. It's up to you, of course, but I would recommend you a different envoy. Please meet Chandra Murvey, an experienced diplomat who's more familiar with Brevoy's politics than any brawler could be. The old woman standing next to Natala gives you a slight bow. I would be happy to help you establish diplomatic relations in Brevoy. Yeah. Isn't making a deal with you making a deal with the devil? I'll consider your proposal. Think on it. Do not make any hasty decisions. Yeah, I don't like her. if you didn't catch that. No, I don't like being played at all. Jordyn doesn't really like being played at all. Because let's not forget, he is still quite a bit in the chaotic neutral side. Although she has made some shifty things, some shifty decisions, he's still strongly into a chaotic neutral, tending towards chaotic good and neutral at the same time. So he's going like this right now. I want to keep him in chaotic neutral as much as possible because I that's what I thought this character would be, but the choices that I was given and how I think that he would respond to them brought us to where we are right now. Anyhow, he doesn't like being played. Not at all. Because right now Jamandi Aldori wants to separate from Brevoy and using me, along with the other two guys to separate from Brevoy and creating these frontier lands that can push things one way or the other. Then you've got her, who is a very arrogant noble that doesn't understand how the struggles of living go by. He doesn't understand how the world works, basically. She's just a politician and a diplomat from a high-standing position that doesn't really see the battles that occur, the monsters that I had to fight, and doesn't know the will of, the people. And Jordyn values quite a bit helping when he can, and when he also thinks it's profitable to help those people in order to up his position as well. Octavian Regongar, hello. Yeah. They probably never had food this delicious in their lives. Anyway, one more guy to talk about. Hannes Drelev. Hannes, this man's gorgeous clothes hide rippling muscles beneath them. He looks past your ear, obviously bored. Baron Hannes Drelev, he says offhandedly, emphasizing the word Baron. And you must be the Stag Lord Butcher. I'm sorry, I quite forgot your name. But you took out the Stag Lord and his gang, and so Sir Lord Jamandi is granting you permission to take his place, right? Well, congratulations. My lands lie to the west of yours. I suppose we're neighbors now. Yes, sir. I defeated the Stag Lord. Pray tell, what did you do to deserve your new dominion? A smirk appears on the Baron's face. I don't need to deserve or prove anything. Countless generations of my glorious ancestors have done so for me. If I had a slightly bigger army, Sword Lord Jamandi would have simply given me all the stolen lands, easily. Alas, I don't have so many soldiers at my disposal, so she had to urgently make barons, of the likes of you and Varn. So, you have no army and no special merits. You are just given land for being pretty? Under circumstances, I'd have you whipped for such words. But let's not ruin Lady Aldori's celebration, I would want so badly to measure merits. We can do so another time. Yeah, we will. Not even deigning to reply, Baron Drelev turns around and looks away. Yeah, his lands are the first ones I'm conquering. Hands down. He is going to fall down quickly. And I do believe, from what I've seen, the situation I'm in, you've got Varn, who is loyal to Aldori. You've got him, who is, a noble, and would love to be in a better noble position, in a better position in this weird political situation that happens in Brevoy. So I do think he's going to go and ally himself with Surtova. However, I have a third option. I can go neither with one or the other. I can simply take Lander with me and bring a new house of the noble houses to power. Because he's here without her knowing. She has already someone else for me. Maybe Lander would be a great idea. I'm going to make a save here. A new one. Because I have a save in which I chose Jamandi's advisor. So I'm going to go with that if this lands in a pretty bad place. But that's a pretty solid.
As it should be.
That's a pretty solid one. Oh, we also have the mayor of Rostov. An older man with full sideburns looks aside to you with interest through a golden eyeglass. Well now, if it isn't the hero of the festivities, the protege of our dear Jamandi. You pulled this all off quite cleverly, I confess. I wasn't convinced your enterprise would succeed. I even bet a bottle of my best Pitaxian wine against you. But I'm happy to admit I was wrong. The Aldori have always been an adept at finding new talent. I don't believe we've been introduced.
So it would seem. I am Joseph Salemius, Lord Mayor of Restov. I rule this town and the adjacent land. As your northern neighbor, I hope we can look forward to a long and fruitful relationship.
So, you rule Restov, and what about the Aldori?
Brevois politics seem complex and incomprehensible to many. Here, in these parts of Rostland, the spirit of northern freedom still lives. We are loyal to the throne, of course. May the gods prolong the life of His Highness, but here, far from the dominions of the great houses, we have our own way of life. It is especially important now, after the certain events that I probably don't need to name. The Aldori warlords used to rule Rostland. They're still the largest landowners and main military force in the region. But it's not for nothing that Rostov is called a free city. We're proud to choose the Lord Mayor from among the citizens, considered not by their lineage, but by their own merits.
How are things in Rostov?
I don't want to boast, but things have been going well in recent years. Trade prospers, the population grows, and the citizens are happy. Although recently, especially after the disappearance of House Rogarvia, more and more troublemakers have been appearing, and people are talking about the most shocking things. But those sorts of rumors aren't worthy of your attention.
I would beg to disagree. Last time I received some kind, like those kinds of rumors, I had to kill a purple dressed gnome disguising himself as a kobold, trying to get some magical artifacts, and who knows what do with them. I don't know, but he had a very evil plan. And I know it sounds really, really pathetic that I had to fight a gnome disguised as a kobold. It was bad. That's what I'm saying. It was bad. Anyway, it was very nice meeting you. Goodbye.
Please wait a moment. Your young barony will need resources to establish itself, and from what I've been told, you're somewhat in need of financial assistance. I could organize and supply everything you need for the construction and spread out the cost on extremely favorable terms. I could immediately procure, let's say, 500 cartloads of building supplies. I'm sure that would give you a good start. In exchange, I would ask for a small favor. Until you repay the debt in full, you simply assume the obligation of contracting building services through Restov's Builders Guild. Do we have a deal?
Now here's an interesting decision, because at first, the first time around, I thought that, Salemius is obviously playing this game and allying himself with Jamati Aldori and being loyal to her. Now, after, going through all the conversations again, I can see that he's not necessarily wanting the Sword Lords to rule Rostland. He just wants Restov to remain independent and to have powerful allies. If I become that kind of a powerful ally, my alignment to the great houses or to the Aldori would be irrelevant. So, how about I go and accept that offer? I'm going to pay him. It's going to be a bit tough, but I think we can pull it off. So yeah. With that, I get a bit of a bonus, and then I have to pay him monthly, I think. So I need to be very careful with my money, which will be a problem. But anyway, we'll figure that out as we go. Let's talk to Jamandi Aldori and tell us our rather chaotic decision. We're going off on a chance here. We're going to take Lander with us instead of taking either the Aldori or the Surtovas.
So, how do you like our little gathering? I hope you've made some useful connections. Shall we move on to the official proceedings?
Oh yes, of course. However, before we begin, I'd like to talk about the envoy I'll be taking with me.
My apprentice, Casil Aldori, will go with you, won't he?
Sadly, no, Jamandi. Young Lander will come with me.
Oh, the heir of House Levita. Naive enough to think no one would recognize him here. I wouldn't trust him. Who knows what he has in mind?
I'll stab him with the first opportunity if that happens, honey. Don't you worry. And then pray for his soul. But I'm gonna stab him first. I'm ready for the ceremony.
Excellent. Stand here. Lords and ladies, today we are here to honor 3 brave people who have done the impossible. They've tamed the stolen lands. Baron Hannes Drelev, the new master of Glenabon. Captain Maegor Varn, the conqueror of Dunsword. And finally, the tamer of the Shrike Hills, who put an end to the atrocities of the Stag Lord's bandits. Step forward. On behalf of the people of the free city of Restov, I confer upon you this noble title. Rise, your grace.
Victory! The Stag Lord's dead, and the capital of the new barony has been built in place of his fort. That was how the long and challenging taming of the stolen lands began.
Welcome, Your Grace.
Keston salutes you. You can see he's a bit anxious, and it seems he'd rehearsed his speech many times.
Let me once again congratulate you on your victory and your new title. Lady Jamandi transferred me here. I am at your disposal. I am not one to bestow honors,
But I want to know. I want you to know. I'm glad to serve you. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of your new capital's citizens. The Stag Lord's former stronghold will soon be a thriving city. Word travels fast, and the first settlers have already arrived, with new ones approaching as we speak. While you were visiting Restov, much has been done here. Your benefactors, the Aldori, invested a great deal of resources in rebuilding the city. I stand ready to answer your questions and show you around the most important sites. So, where are my companions, first of all? I haven't met them since we started traveling. Have they already arrived? They are all somewhere around here, but I never kept an eye on who and where exactly. Well, I assume Tristian was with Jod, and you can always find Lindsay. Just follow the noise and turmoil. The main question is, where can I get a drink or 3? It's time to toast my victory. Keston hesitates for a brief moment, then laughs. I'll make sure to show you. The moment we enter the city, the tavern was the first business that opened. Building a city is a thirsty work, and I beg your forgiveness for my behavior during your reception. I drank a little too much. It is a day for celebration. Are there any citizens I should know about? Our old acquaintance Jot is here. Erastil's clerics normally don't like cities much, but he's eager to serve you. Also, the emissary from Devoy is here, waiting for you in the throne room. There is also this curious matter. An elf has paid us a visit, a blind elf. Desna only knows how she managed to get here. He seems a peaceful, even pleasant fellow, though naturally a little odd, so I'll let him stay for a while. It's up to you to decide what to do with him now. That's about it, I guess. Keston scratches his head. What's the mood of the people?
I must admit, I've never seen anything like that in my whole life. A city, a whole barony born right in front of our eyes. The people sense the moment, and today we're feeling proud. As a rule, I'm not too cheerful or chatty. I normally feel out of place among all the rejoicing, but today, it's just one of those days. I'm ready to look around the city. Lead the way. Follow me, your grace. Yeah, Casey was right about all that your grace things. I'm not going to play every single character. So, yeah, we'll enjoy the dialogue from here on out. So now that we've reached the main chambers, this is the throne room, where you'll hold court and receive visitors. Let me draw your attention to this large map depicting your barony and its surroundings. We'll mark out the important scout reports and other news worthy of your grace's attention. Having finished his speech, Kirsten tucks his thumbs under his belt and stands quietly. Lander Libeda. Hello, my dear friend. Lander Libeda, the young noble from Bevoy, who you've chosen as an emissary, greets you with a distracted nod. I am glad to see you are in good health. I don't see how you remain so steady in these circumstances. He makes a wide gesture with his hand, obviously meaning something larger than your throne room. But in truth, I wouldn't worry. A little effort, and this barony will become a rich and prosperous land, right?
So we get a community +6, loyalty +6, military +3, economy +3, divine +3, arcane, stability. Okay, new event. Trade agreement with Sartova, agreement with Joseph Selemis, Zvankis offer, pillage the Temple of the Elk, rebuild the Temple of the Elk, research into the nature of curses with Davik Nettle, the undead guy, right? Since ruling seems to be a new thing for you, I'll put the matter simply. There are two kinds of issues that a baron must address. Boring ones and amusing ones. You have servants and advisors to handle all the boring problems, and you can give them orders from wherever it pleases you. But sometimes an urgent matter will arise. A dragon attack, or a visit of some noble dignitary like myself. Events like these demand a baron's personal presence in the capital. We'll mark these events on the map too. According to ancient tradition of Brevoy and most of the river kingdoms, rulers in these parts find it convenient to receive visitors and chop off heads at the beginning of each month. I know well that traditions can be tedious, but nevertheless I advise you to visit the capital on important days. But here's the main thing. You should start choosing people to fill the key positions right away. Your clerics, Jordyn and Tristian, were the first to beg for an audience. I leave you to your thoughts for now. I'm sure you'll make wise decisions. Of that, I have no doubt.
Your Grace, allow me to congratulate you on receiving the title of Baron. I am confident that you will be able to bring order to these troubled lands.
He stumbles slightly.
Though, to be honest, that isn't exactly what we wanted to speak to you about. Tristian and I have been talking a great deal about what happened at the Temple of the Elk. It doesn't all make sense to us yet, but one thing is clear: there's a powerful curse at work. It corrupted the very essence of that sacred place, steeping it with putrescence. Oh, I am disgusted with whoever could do this.
Jord exhales loudly, catching his breath.
And now there is a new woe. Tristian and I believe the curse did not simply disperse of its own accord. There is a place near the capital rumored by the locals to be cursed. Tristian and I visited this dreadful place, and we felt the same putrescence as at the Temple of the Elk.
What is this place? Where is it? There is a bald hilltop not far from here, to the north of the capital. Its crown is entirely barren of life. The locals believe that rituals glorifying the dark gods were held there back in ancient times. There is no longer any trace of such rituals, but the air around the hilltop is heavy to the point of stifling. This place is like a rotting wound, closed but not healed.
And this wound will undoubtedly open again. Tristian and I felt something approaching, something ominous. The curse will soon return to plague us once more. I swear by Erastil.
I will give it I'll go there as soon as I'm able. I would be happy to accompany you, but I would not expect to see anything new here at the present.
I agree with Tristian. We have been to this hilltop. It's barren, but filled with a dense atmosphere of unease.
Well, what do you suggest?
The curse will grow in strength, and we predict it will reach the peak of its strength in about 1 month. That's when we should visit the bald hilltop and resolve this issue.
For now, we can only wait and prepare.
We beg your pardon, Your Grace, for intervening with you getting the grasp of your barony. I'm sure you have even more pressing matters at hand right now.
Alrighty then. So, we have a new quest with a time limit. Because we love those kind of quests, don't we? So, the barony has stats, yes. Population, loyalty, military, economy, divine, relations, stability, magic, and culture and espionage. Okay. Yes, every 20 points, starting to your rank. Rank 1 unlocks corresponding advisor position for that stat. For the development of the stat, upgrades it to its ranks. It will be possible only if you have an advisor in the relevant position. Okay, so they're not the stolen lands anymore. They shall be known as... The barony of Shrike? The Shrike barony. No. The... The Shrike barony, yeah. I guess. Yeah, we shall be the Shrike barony. And if we ever get to be a kingdom, we'll be the Shrike barony kingdom. Because, yes, I'm smart. Anyhow. We have Shrike, our current place. So we have Shrike, we have the outskirts, which are uncontrolled right now. We have Varnhold there, and then Glenebon is right over here, where the asshole is ruling. We've got Pytax over here, where you're very scheming. We have 1,000 Voices, some mountains over there, a mountain range, and some Numeria is somewhere that way. We have the Camelands, the Silver Step, Dunsword. No, Varnhold is not Mager Varn, I think. He has Dunsword, and I think he's going to take Varnhold, or Varnhold is already his, I don't know. Then you've got I can't read that because of the lighting. Anyway, right now, we are in Tuskdale, our capital. So, we're going to switch from the map and get into projects. We have a bunch of projects. We have one curse, the nature of undeath. We have a bunch of economy projects. Oh boy. And we can also claim the outskirts. However, first we shall choose our advisors. Our regent shall be... We have Lander Libida, which weirdly looks very similar to myself. He has a +3 as a regent, so we're going to take him. We have our Chancellor, which is definitely going to be Christian, because he has a +4. We have our General, who will be our Reckless Regogar, just because he can. Our Economy Advisor, sadly, will be Alira. She is a thief, and has a -2. So, yeah. And our Religious Leader shall be Arim, because he has a +4. Even though he's a pessimist worshipper of the death god. Stats are stats, what can I do? Okay, projects. We have a bunch of them. We have the agreement with Joseph Salemius. The Lord Mayor of Restov has offered 500 BP in financial assistance in exchange for your promise to work exclusively with Restov's Builders Guild. It's a generous offer, but who knows what consequences this could have for the barony. Right, then you've got the trade agreement with Rtova. Our benches will receive the right to establish a sizable trading post in the heart of New Stetven. Each city in the barony gains an extra +5 per BP per week, +2 BP for each town, and +1 BP for each village. And we have Esvanki Keeg, High Priest of Erastil from Restov, has strong interest in spreading the Stag God's faith across the region. He's eager to build a shrine dedicated to Erastil on your lands, but at his own expense. Okay. Accept this offer if you wish to gain a useful ally and a place of worship for Erastil. Well, I could use it. I mean, we have a god for that, don't we? Ooh, if we take this, do we lose this? That's what I'm asking. It's 500 VP at the get-go. For now, we'll take the trade agreement with Sutovas. I have insufficient funds. Yep, we're taking that. We're taking the BBs. 7 days to solve that. As Vanky's offer is another 7 days. And rebuilding the temple would cost us 100 BP. And would take 60 days to solve. We'll have to solve that. We'll have to rebuild the temple after we dealt with the thing. The bald hilltop. Right. So, I think we're going to start by doing the agreement with Joseph. And also, is Vanky's offer. Oh, I can put them at the same time. Okay, okay. Goody. Regions. Claim the outskirts. I will take Tristian to claim the land. Yeah. I have 450 BP. Okay. 32 coming in per week. So yeah, I think we can do that. All right. We are larger than life. Great. So, we made a deal and received financial assistance. And we also accepted Svanky's offer to gain a powerful ally. Goody. We still have the trade agreement possible, so I'm going to put Lira on that at the first opportunity. We could pillage. Prevents further restoration. I want to restore it because I have this new thing going on. We have 2 events. Aram has a request and a counselor awaits in the throne room. That's going to be in the next chapter of our story. For now, I think that's it. Less profitable. Okay, Restov's Builders Guild is charging us unfair prices. The cost of all buildings increases by 25%. Fuck. Yeah. We're already in shit. Why can't these things be easy? Ever? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because things... can I, like... Yeah, I can. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the next chapter will come in about a month from the release of this video. Stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next project. Goodbye.